Okay, so as you guys know, we're here to get you guys' intake on what it is to attack a career in sales, or really to get an overview of how you guys feel about sales careers in general. Okay, so I want to start off by asking you guys, are you guys interested in a career in sales? No. What do you guys think about that?
No.
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 Not really? Well, why? Why aren't you guys interested in sales?
I feel like it's inconsistent. Um, when I think of sales, I imagine someone going door to door, or like someone trying to gain clientele, and I feel like it's something that's really difficult. So if I want to like be financially stable, I don't think like sales is like the first place I would go to, because I feel like a lot of salespeople work off of commission, right?
True, partly true.
Okay.
But then it just depends on who you work for as well.
Okay.
So definitely. Anybody else want to put it in?
Like she said, like when I think of sales, I think of, I used to be in Girl Scouts, so I think of like going door to door and selling cookies. And where I interned at, they had a really strong sales department, but it was also very competitive. Like who can reach? I don't want to go to work every day and I'm stressed out. Like I need to call 100 people and get 20 people to stay on the phone with me. Like I just want to have a consistent job, give me consistent task, and like it's to me it just seems like too much stress and it's not like consistent.
And for me, I don't think like a sales career matches up with my core skill set. So that's like the main reason why I kind of ruled out sales, and along with the commission bid and the kind of cold calling. I guess that might be stereotypical for sales jobs, but none of that stuff appealed to me, and I don't think that matches with my skills.
Okay, so leading into that, what it seems like a lot of, I heard everybody really mention going door to door, and almost seems about approachability and having to approach people. Maybe when you're not might be the most comfortable with doing things where it's maybe not be particularly beneficial to you, but you're selling a product. So just in a general idea, how do you guys feel about having to be persuasive?
Yeah, it's something that you definitely need, whatever career that you may face in your life, that you have to learn how to be persuasive. If that's, I'm in the courtroom and I'm offering a deliberation of something that I would have to be persuasive. I have to persuade the judge to rule in my favor. So I think that's an element of something that you need in your life.
I also agree. I mean, in STEM, I mean, persuasion applies to almost everything you do. I mean, well, it's not necessarily, it's persuasion, but I mean, you're backing it by like data and fact, but still, you have to persuade people that your argument is convincing, that your data is convincing. But there's also the aspect of like entrepreneurship in STEM. So that's an interest of mine. And so, you know, if I do decide to go into creating, you know, into the biotech industry, I'm going to have to use that to be able to market whatever idea I have.
And also, like, I want to be an entrepreneur eventually, but when I think of sales, I don't want to be stuck selling something I'm not passionate about. Like, you have to be persuasive, and you're putting yourself out there to be rejected 100 times a day, and you go home, and, like, I at least know that I'm doing it for a good cause, that I'm, like, really standing behind what I'm trying to sell.
Okay.
And I also think like persuasion is an art. So I mean, I don't have a problem trying to persuade people. I think I can do a good job, but it's a whole kind of pressure when your livelihood depends on it, which goes back to that consistency. So I can persuade someone on an idea, give them all the facts, and at the end of the day, they choose to agree or disagree. Like, you know, there's no loss. However, if I'm like trying to sell you something, I'm like, I need you to buy this, I can make money. It's just kind of like tension, and you have to learn how to do it. So I don't know. Persuasion is an art. I feel like it's a whole nother level of persuasion in sales careers.
Okay. So going from there, do you guys know anyone who works in sales?
No.
Yes.
Oh.
No.
Okay. And for those of you who do know people that work in sales, what do you guys know about their job and what they do?
They hate it. they hate their job. They're on the phone all the time, calling people, trying to build relationships. Like I said, like meeting quotas. Yeah, they hate it.
I guess I take my no back because I worked at a bank over the summer, and one of the people that I met was a banker, and he sells financial products, I guess, to companies and whatnot. So I guess he's a salesman. But the type of clients that he worked with were government clients, so there's a bunch of regulatory things about how you can go about persuading a government official to take your financial product over Goldman Sachs or Bank of America. So it wasn't as salesy
Okay.
as other sales careers,
Hmm.
in my opinion.
Okay, so what skills do you guys think professionals need to really consider, or sales professionals need to really consider themselves to stand out or do well within their positions? What skills do you guys think sales professionals really need?
So I definitely say you can have a little bit of charisma, being able to, but always having charisma, being versatile, and being able to effectively navigate a conversation. So if anything, for any circumstance, anything someone might say, you're prepared for that. You can bounce back. But I mean, I also think you kind of have to know your stuff too. Not kind of, you have to know your stuff. So if someone, second guess anything, you're able to present, oh, this data shows this or whatever. So you just need to be like, on your stuff.
I don't know about the skill set per se, but then when I think of like sales professionals, I sometimes think of like con artists. Because you need to be able to tell someone, you need to be able to sell something, right? So even if you disagree with it, even if it doesn't do what it's promised, you have to get people to side with you. So I don't know, whenever I'm in a position, someone is selling something to me, I'm like, should I really buy this? Like, maybe you're just saying this because of A, B, and C. So I think you need to be able to lie really well, maybe. So.
I think consistency and patience. I know a lot of people, like, they may not have a client, but they'll keep going, build a relationship. Like, I know someone who does, like, sales and medicine. Like, she'll go to, doctor's offices and hospitals, talk to the doctors. They may not want her product in February, but because she kept growing and building that relationship, she may have to sell in November. So, yeah.
That's a problem right there. Yeah.
And for me, I think that probably like they have to know a lot about whatever it is they're trying to sell. Like I remember going into a soup store and I walked in and the guy said, "Oh, what size do you wear? 42 long?" And I was like, "Yeah, So like he was like high up in my opinion than all the other soup salesmen that I've ever come in contact with because he knew my size before I even told him. I put the jacket on, he knew I was right-handed because I think the right sleeve was slightly shorter than the left sleeve when it came because my right arm is slightly more muscular than my left arm. So all of those things impressed me. I didn't buy a suit that day, but it was because I didn't have any money, not that he wasn't a good salesman.
Okay, so do you guys think that a sales career could be rewarding?
Yes.
Yeah.
In what ways? In what ways do you guys think it could be rewarding?
You could be selling, like, for me, my internship, I really did like, that was the one time I liked sales. I like their sales department because they actually, I felt like they were selling a service to people. They were helping, like, small business owners. Like, they're selling a product that will benefit society. So I feel like it's rewarding if, like, you're passionate about what you're selling and you're seeing the impact of it. And even the skill sets, like, for me, if I went into sales, it would be hard, but I know that I would become more assertive and persistent. So I feel like I would gain skill sets. So I feel like it could be rewarding in that way.
I think it depends on the person. I mean, for me, I think if I was in sales, what would be rewarding for me is one, the interaction with other people and being able to like learn from those interactions, but also just my own creativity and seeing how I can like use my creativity and my own skills to like convince someone. I would get a degree of satisfaction from that.
Do you guys think a sales job is easily obtainable?
Yes,
I never looked into it.
You said, is it easily obtainable?
Mhm.
Attainable? I mean, yeah, because like you need people that can sell stuff. Like, and I feel like it's not something that everyone wants to do because like we even say, like within a mall, as people working at a kiosk and like they're trying to sell like like acting people or whatever. And I see that and like people are rude. So like you come up and like I just like keep walking. I'm just like, wow, it's like a really hard job and that's not something I would do, but I don't imagine that people would jump to just do something like that.
I do think that they're very accessible, but sometimes I think it is hard because I know for some companies they require tests Like P&G, you have to take a test. General Mills, you have to take a test. Some companies require, I think Delta or United, someone has a math test. So sometimes like there are like hard restrictions to get into sales, but I do think they're really accessible because most of the jobs on CareerLink are sales. I just don't think people are interested in them.
Okay. Now, do you guys think a sales related career could be fun and exciting?
Well, I think that was your answer.
Well, why not? Why don't you guys think it could be fun and exciting?
Because I think of stress.
Think about your getting rejection on an everyday
Yeah.
basis.
Yeah.
Who wants to be rejected?
And even this, to me, the stigmas of sales outweigh, like, the stigmas like, oh, you're like a con artist, or you're like, oh, you're a salesman. Like, I feel like sometimes the stigmas associated with sales, I think, would outweigh any type of joy and fulfillment out of that.
And then even in this time right now, with this digital age, like we're always having things thrown in our face, whether it's through social media, whether it's through like, whatever app you have, there's always something trying to sell you something. Like people are always coming up to you to get something. So like by this time, like people are just tired of it. And so they're like, all right, what do you want? Like, and they just don't have the patience anymore. It's really hard.
Okay, well, I will say from you guys' answers there that I will assume that those are main, a lot of the downsides that you guys see about the sales careers. You guys agree?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and one of our last questions is, we want you to think about, just spit out the thoughts that come to your mind when we say these two words. So when we say commissions versus hourly wage, what are you guys' thoughts on that?
Hungry.
What do you mean by hungry?
Because if I don't meet my whatever quota and I don't get me like I just feel like I'm gonna be hungry.
I think of competition for commission, because if you do really well, then like you're probably getting paid more than like the hourly figure, right? But if you're having like a bad month, then it's like, dang, I wish I was getting paid by the hour. So with commission, because I know for some sales job you still have like a base salary plus commission. So if I was to do sales, that would be a definite, But if you don't have that base salary, then you become really competitive and you just never know. Like that's the instability I was talking about earlier.
I think about it depends on what I'm selling. I worked at Macy's and it was a commission job. I worked in the men's shoe department, which was like right next to Coats, and it was like the Northeast Coast that can be like a couple $100s, and we maybe had one pair of shoes that cost that much. So, and we didn't get commission on the coats. So it depends on what you're selling, because I guess if you're selling, I guess it depends on what you're selling and how much of it. Which is like the big two things. So, because with my commission job, I might as well have been getting minimum wage because it was about the same, selling like $100 pair of shoes every other hour or whatever it was. I'm not a very good salesman either, so maybe that's why.
And some stores, I could tell who was getting paid by commissions, because like literally, you would come to the store and like, hi, how are you? Like, I'm good. Like, and then they'll just, you'll pick out something. Oh, we get to like, just like, very friendly. That's cool. But then, when you're trying to, like, oh, it looks really, really, really good. It's just like, it's kind of like, I'm just like, demon strike that's on, like, right. So you can just kind of tell. It almost seems like, like just like too much.
A little bit pushy.
Right. Yeah, like they'll just say whatever they want, so you get that. I don't want to be in that position where you have to lie to something. I look good at it. I mean, like,
Well, all right, you guys. Definitely, this is the conclusion of our meeting today with our focus group. We definitely appreciate you guys' answers and being really frank with us. It'll really help us out, and we definitely appreciate you guys' time tonight.